Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. So Mike Tyson has explained that English fighters are much tougher than American fighters. He said that in America they've got a lot of skillful fighters, but in the UK they don't care if they get knocked out. They are much tougher compared to those over the pond in the USA. Now undoubtedly this is going to get some response from American fighters, of course it is, but it is just an opinion from Mike Tyson, and I would say that yes, in England there are many tough fighters, but there are many skillful fighters also. They aren't just tough, that is not the reason why they grind out a result. They are extremely skilled as well. I mean, look at Tyson Fury, 6'9" and can move like a middleweight. It's just incredible the skill that he has and the attributes, the physical attributes, the height, the reach, the speed, the movement, and in his last fight, the power also. So Mike Tyson can set them apart like that if he wants to, but I do believe that they are skillful in England as well. I think that there are not necessarily more skillful fighters in the US as opposed to the UK. I mean, look at the heavyweight division. All of the heavyweight world titles are in the UK, and I would say arguably number one challenger, provided he beats Povetkin, Dillian White. He's also in the UK, he's British, so ultimately there is maybe a difference in toughness if that is Mike Tyson's opinion, but in skill, there's not such a big gap in that either. Now, when talking about toughness and things like that goes deeper than just taking a punch and getting knocked out or managing to stay in there for longer than you should. It's not just about that. I think that toughness also comes under a mental capacity. So you see a lot more UK fighters or British fighters go over to the US and challenge themselves as opposed to US fighters coming over to the UK. I would like to see that more. I would like to see more fighters from America try their hand in the UK, because I just think that that's a great way for them to get more boxing fans. I mean, Errol Spence done it. He came over to the UK to fight Kell Brook, the world champion, in his own backyard at Sheffield. So he done it, and that has built him a good standing in the UK. People like him in the UK. He has a lot of UK boxing fans. So I think that more Americans need to try and do that. Come over to the UK and try their hand in this boxing scene. See how they get on. Because at the end of the day, if they are world champion, they need to defend their belt around the world, not just in one place where they feel safe. That is again one thing that British fighters do. They often travel over to the US, and of course, TV deals, more money, that is a big part in that. But at the end of the day, what they are trying to do is they are trying to win fights and obviously become world champion, but also build their brand. So if they go to different places, different parts of the world, then they are only building their brand more and more. Anthony Joshua went to Saudi Arabia and built his brand over there. Tyson Fury went over there with WWE, again doing the same thing. So in the UK, Tyson Fury, someone like him, he's a great self-promoter. And what he has also proven is he is willing to go and fight anywhere in the world, and he believes, or he knows, he will still win because he is undefeated. Anthony Joshua has gone over to the US, didn't work out for him the first time, but ultimately he still went there, and he went to Saudi Arabia also. So I think that observation from Mike Tyson is very interesting, and I think that it goes deeper than just being able to take a punch and land a punch. That was obviously the capacity that Mike Tyson was explaining it in, but I do believe that there is a mental toughness there as well, a mental toughness that says, I'm going to continue, even when maybe they shouldn't. That is often what happens. A fighter goes in there and decides that they aren't getting knocked out, they aren't losing tonight, and that is why they stay in there for so long, because they just will not quit. And it is because of that mental capacity that they are willing to go here, there, everywhere and fight, because they are fighters through and through. So anywhere in the world, it's in a boxing ring, so it doesn't make any difference to those fighters. So yes, it is a toughness when you consider they can take punch after punch and continue going. I mean, someone who could always take a punch and keep walking through them was a Carl Froch. Unbelievable how many punches he would soak up before landing some, maybe even none sometimes. Against George Groves, when he had been knocked down and hurt badly in the first round, got up, continued, and he got hit with so many punches in that fight, but he was still there standing. In fact, he was still walking forwards. But having said that, there are many American fighters who are extremely tough also. Errol Spence was one I alluded to earlier. Very tough, came over to the UK as well, fought Kell Brook in his backyard, so you can see that mental toughness that is there. Put a ring anywhere and I'll go and fight it. I'll go into the champion's backyard and take the title away from him. Errol Spence proved he had that kind of mindset, the ability to come over to the UK and still win anyway, to take punch after punch from Kell Brook, to show he had that mental toughness he needed to stay in there with someone like Kell Brook, who throws extremely hard punches and consistently as well. So he is an American fighter who has proven himself in the UK as well as in America, and I think that what Mike Tyson is saying is he's not being disrespectful to American fighters for not being tough enough and more skilled, and I don't think he's being disrespectful to English fighters for being abnormally tough and not so skilled. I think that what he is doing is looking at what sets them apart. What is the differences between American fighters and English fighters? Even goes down to the roots when they start training. What do they learn? What are the first things they start to learn when they lace up the boxing gloves? And I think that in America, there isn't just this style about hit and don't get hit. I mean, Errol Spence, as I said, he is a prime example of that. He is willing to have a fight. And in the UK, it isn't just take a punch to land a punch. It is different from that. There are fighters who do that. I mean, Carl Froch was one who was always willing to take a punch to land a punch. Derek Chisora also very tough, willing to take some punishment before he can get his own punches off. But it's not just about that. There are fighters who are more skilled, and maybe they don't just rely on that toughness to win them fights. But still, it is an interesting observation from Mike Tyson. Now, what also makes a difference is how the fighters are schooled. Obviously, in America, it is different from in the UK. It's going to be. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that in the UK or in England, it's about just soaking up punishment to land punches. It's not just about that, but the schooling and the grassroots level is going to be completely different in the UK as opposed to in America. So there are going to be two different fighting styles. In America, they're not necessarily just pure boxers or anything like that. There are fighters who do soak up punishment and take punches to land punches, and vice versa in the UK. There are fighters who don't just soak up punishment but like to box. I mean, you can pick and choose. And ultimately, I think that there are skillful fighters in the UK still, and not just brawlers. And I don't think that is what Mike Tyson was trying to get at. I think that he was just saying and complimenting British fighters on their toughness. And I think that it also does come down to mindset. How much do you want to win? Are you willing to take whatever comes at you and still keep moving forwards? That kind of sounds like a bit like a Rocky line, but still, it is kind of like that beneath it all. And I think that I would like to see some more American fighters travel over to the UK or somewhere else in the world to defend their world titles. British fighters do travel over to the US. I would like to see more American fighters come over, maybe defend their belts or come over and challenge the champions in the UK. And I think that the reason why we want to see that is because there are some skillful fighters that we would like to see in the UK. It would be brilliant to see some of those fighters from America that we are all fans of in the UK. Guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.